I think it's better this way. Go back like this. There's no picture.
This event is going to be accompanied by a group photograph by the very senior officers, with the very senior officers and the Chief of Army Staff.
Excuse the shape. I'm going to tell you what
Just begun. The Chief of Military Intelligence will now present the full prototype to the Chief of Army Staff.
Project. So these all that have been done. These other ones. Yeah, you see, well, during the inspection of the project, you see, sir. So these are.
Please, Commission, please benefit. May I request let the senior officers retired and senior officers here to please join the Chief of Army Staff. Thank you.
I'm very proud. I have the senior appointment this commissioners still Lagbaba for the use of our soldier in the United community and particularly to be Combat helicopters was specialized in design, one was constructed by Headquarters Mike and commissioned today by my humble son, March 2025.
So you need to be plug and play.
So this is the madness.
Kitchen.
This is very spacious. I'm going to bring all of you out. I'm very lustrous sons of the Nike. See, many man is looking for more. That was a request to the COAS. Don't worry. Even I'm going to climb that very low.
Yes, so I want to show you. And after yeah, so just there was 2 years, but they have to cancel.
Where's the shovel? Where the shovel? Bring that shovel.
The Chief of Defense Intelligence, the DG DRDB, Chief of Radiant Operations, Defense Headquarters, Principal Staff Officers from both defense and other services others that are present. Our highly revered, retired but not tired senior officers who are here with us today. I'm going to talk about a few of them in the course of my remarks. Heads of Nigerian Army establishments, they are present. Our host, the Chief of Military Intelligence, commanders, they are present. Senior officers, esteemed guests, our very dear soldiers, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I said I was going to speak about the few senior officers there who I met in the course of my career. Well, I'm not here to tell stories, but I will start with Colonel Beyer. After his retirement, he became the CSO of NNPC, then in Lagos. And then as a young captain, I was the adjutant of Bonica, 65 Battalion Bonica. So whenever I go to his office to collect the RC of soldiers, he was always very generous, very magnanimous. To say, okay, young man, for your effort, take this. And then when you look at what our salary was then, I can tell you, whenever I see Colonel Boyer, I was sure of like 4 good weekends in quick succession. So thank you very much, sir, for that support then. Then I'll go to General Dekeba. You know, this was a senior officer that for any encounter, you just have to harass him. Whether you are doing the right thing or you're on the wrong path, you are just sure of being harassed. But I can tell you that behind all that harassment was this father figure who always have something nice to tell you and how to build you to become a better officer. So, sir, for all your harassments, we still thank you. Then General Maru, who was then in MS when I was the same adjutant of Bonica. You know, for General Maru, you will not know whether you have got job or not, because his men will remain the same, whether it's going to kill you or it's going to applaud you for a job well done. But I was lucky I never got this job. So, sir, I remain grateful for all those your contenances there. It's what I've got all of us here. We appreciate you, sir. Ogawiwa, I didn't know much about him. I never crossed his path. Maybe I was lucky not to have crossed his path. Based on the stories I heard. Then for General Tijani, Oga, I think it's better I don't talk about you here. So that people will not know you are true person. Then for General Sandu, well, okay, Sandu, I want to tell the whole world there that all you taught me as a cadet was how to go on a road. And for those who are in Mogadishu with us, they will bear witness here. He never taught us anything besides how to cross the fence. Okay, I can see that someone is trying to hide it. Okay, you are safe. Okay, that said, Well, it's always good to have officers think about their soldiers in this manner. And like you said, I'm talking about the CMI now. When he gave his welcome address, it's one of the major mantra of my command philosophy, to put soldiers first and to see how best we can improve their well-being so that they can do their job well. Well, I know why the CMI has been insisting that I come to commissioners. Just to ambush me so I can do more for him. That he did in Lagos when we went to commission the Wolves and Sergeant Mess, where I made it to make some commitment. Now I'm here again. Now, this is a 48 flat project, right?
Yes, sir.
You have done 12. So I'm going to do the next 24. So you have how many left?
12, sir.
12. Okay. So I'm going to push those 12 to very illustrious sons of the Naim family. I'll start with the CDI. Then from there I will jump to Chief of Training and Operations in the First Headquarters. Then I'll go to General Ndagi. I think this be. Then with Taiwo now, DG or DG. I think with that 4, you are good to go. So, by the powers conferred on me as the Chief of Army Staff, I hereby direct that those 4 should be the last 12. Thank you.
Major General T.B. Udiagbe, the Chief of Military Intelligence, Army. On behalf of officers and men of the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps, I most respectfully welcome our special guest of honor, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Oluyede, Nigerian Army Medal, to the commissioning ceremony of this newly constructed soldiers' quarters. I sincerely appreciate the Chief of Army Staff for accepting to do the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps this great honor of commissioning this project in person. I'm also delighted to acknowledge and appreciate the visionary leadership and unwavering commitment of our special guest of honor. Indeed, his love for transformation and modernization, including the urgent needs of the Nigerian Army, gave us the needed impetus to complete this project. The special guest of honor, sir, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I dare say that today's event holds both personal and professional significance for me. But please permit me to briefly provide some context before we go any further. As I reflect on the purpose and the journey that led us here today, I'm reminded of a timeless adage my paternal grandma often shared with us, our grandchildren, during my childhood. The adage, loosely translated, is akin to the saying that a chain is as strong as its weakest link. Growing up, my grandmother instilled in us the principle of unity and always reiterated that every member of the family needed to be uplifted for the whole to thrive. She will encourage us to help one another, especially the smallest or weakest, emphasizing that the collective strength lies in the individual well-being. This lesson, deeply rooted in my upbringing, became one of my foundation principles and values. As I grew older and embarked on my career in the Army, the value became even more entrenched, given the place and premium welfare of subordinates in the Nigerian Army. Moreover, the sentiment is shared and echoed by some of my mentors, including the special guest of honor, the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaba, and a host of others. One of these mentors, a remarkable retired senior officer and former Director of Military Intelligence, named Major General Ovo Adekeba, retired, consistently emphasized the importance of caring for those under command and creating an environment where every soldier felt valued, supported, and empowered. Moreover, I have always believed that the strength of our army lies more in the dedication, resilience, and well-being of our personnel than in weaponry and strategies. Indeed, our soldiers are the backbone of the army, the bedrock upon which our collective success rests. Ensuring their welfare is therefore not just a duty, but also a moral obligation. This position was championed by the late Chief of Army Staff, and is also the mantra of the Special Guest of Honor. In this regard, the Special Guest of Honor Soldiers First philosophy leaves no doubt whatsoever. Indeed, the Special Guest of Honor has tirelessly championed initiatives that prioritize the welfare of soldiers, recognizing that a well-cared for and motivated force is an unstoppable one. The COAS vision, leadership, drive has inspired me to take steps, however small, to contribute to that noble cause. Today, as we commission this 12 two-bedroom accommodation, I salute the leadership, guidance, and support of the Special Guest of Honor, without which this project would not have been completed. The project, like any meaningful endeavor, came with its fair share of challenges. When the idea was first conceived, there were doubts, rumors, and even discouragement from some quarters. But we drew straight from another principle that has guided me in life, which is, he who dared wins. Despite the hurdles, we pressed on. Every resource mobilized, every brick laid, and every challenge overcame was driven by the unwavering belief that our soldiers deserve the very best. This building, therefore, stands as a testament to our perseverance and an enduring commitment to the welfare of our men. Also, as we built, many disputed that the accommodation was being built for soldiers because it was way above the standard for soldiers, whatever that meant. Today, I stand and tell you that all the 12 beneficiaries are soldiers and not officers. It is proper at this stage to specifically acknowledge some individuals who contributed resources, expertise, advice, and other forms of support towards the completion of this project. My friend and brother, Mr. Alex Irune, the MD Orlando, Major General Sisio Okonkwo, retired, Major General Mali, Major General Fayemiwo, and a host of others, too many to mention for want of time. As we celebrate this achievement, I want to acknowledge the unalloyed loyalty and commitment of officers and soldiers of the NAIC in the discharge of their duty to ensure SLA service to the Nigerian Army and our beloved nation. To my soldiers, take this as a demonstration of how the Army values you. In return, I urge you all to continue to give your best to the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps and to the Nigerian Army at large. Let your actions reflect the discipline, dedication, and excellence that define us in the Nigerian Army Intelligence Corps family. Remember that just as a chain is strengthened by each piece, your contributions, individually and collectively, strengthen our army and our nation. At this juncture, the Special Guest of Honor, sir, permit me to add that this project was designed and conceptualized as 48 units of two-bedroom flats, and we could only undertake a fourth of it within the limit of prudent utilization of available resources. Sir, as we acknowledge your immense and uncommon support, like the popular Oliver Twist, the NAIC family will be very glad if the Special Guest of Honor will intervene and help us complete the entire project. I dare add that there is even space for much more than the 48 units we designed, as we shall see during the inspection project. In closing, I once again express my heartfelt gratitude and honor to the late Chief of Army Staff, after whom this building is named, and who granted approval for the project, and to the Special Guest of Honor for his support in seeing to its completion. I also want to thank everyone who contributed to the success of this project. To the soldiers who will call this place home, I hope it becomes a haven of rest and a source of renewed energy for the vital work you do. Thank you and God bless.
To start with an anonymous quote which says, "Feeling grateful and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it." I also acknowledge that expressing gratitude will spur bad blood when those who deserve praise are not recognized. I want to say, please start forgiving me already, because I know that the effort that went into the event we have just witnessed came from far and near, that I may not be able to completely cover by way of appreciation. The successful turn of events this evening, no doubt, is a manifestation of the benevolence of the Almighty. We feared the rain may defy the meteorologist, but thanks to the Almighty, the rain cooperated. The special guest of honor, sir, please permit me to use the Latin word primus inter pares, as I extend our gratitude to you for doing the night the honor of personally commissioning this project. Sir, for those who know your love for sports, being here to commission this project at this time, rather than being at the badminton courts, speaks to the premium you give and you place on the welfare of personnel and soldiers in particular. The Knight family is not only honored, but particularly grateful to the special guest of honor for making out the time to be here today. I also extend warm appreciation to the principal staff officers for taking time out of their very tight schedule to add glamour to this event. Special recognition and respect to the former directors of military intelligence, some who have traveled from outside Abuja to be here with us. I know you may have skipped your game of golf and the radiance of standing and sitting whenever or wherever it pleases you to once again become subjected to our military drills today. Sirs, your presence inspires us and has given color to this gathering. This vote of thanks will not be complete without mention of the very senior officers and other invited guests who have turned up to grace this occasion, despite the very short notice. I also want to especially appreciate our distinguished invited guests. Our distinguished invited guest in the person of Mr. Alex, who unfortunately was not here, but I believe his representative will take our words to him. You have indeed proved to be a friend to behold, and I thank you very much. At this juncture, it will be unfair if I fail to recognize the hands that worked round the clock with utmost guidance of the Chief of Military Intelligence Army to perfect the arrangements that characterize this event today. I therefore want to acknowledge the service teams, including the venue decorators, military police, Army public relations, and band teams, for the finesse and orderliness and musical embellishment that you brought to bear in the course of this event. I appreciate your prompt response for rehearsals and the good organization of your teams, which helped to give color to the event. You all were the icing on the cake. The MC in this regard is also appreciated. I also wish to extend our gratitude to the engineer, whose unrelenting supervision saw to the steady progress of work at the site. To the preparation subcommittees, night crew team, and all the soldiers, I give you kudos for your painstaking handling of your task, as well as your dedication and prompt response during the cleaning of the finished projects, despite the fasting period. You are all very much appreciated. Let me also seize this opportunity to re-echo one of the mantras of the special guest of honor, which is welfare. And I want to quote from the special guest of honor speech that I was able to see, even though it wasn't read here. I quote, "Beyond this project, I have made it a pact to ensure that the welfare of our soldiers remain paramount during my tenure. However, you must also promise and demonstrate loyalty and dedication in the discharge of your duties. As long as this mutual understanding is upheld on your part, this project is just a tip of the iceberg. Sir, the actualization of this pact on the part of the soldier is what I will refer as the Midas touch of soldiering. May I therefore crave the indulgence of the special guest of honor to charge all my subordinates in this gathering to be the ambassadors of this noble cause. I urge you all to drive the process as the expected outcomes will ultimately serve for the greater good of the Nigerian Army. In conclusion, I want to acknowledge those who have contributed in prayers and behind the scene to support the conduct of this commissioning ceremony. I also want to humbly apologize to those I may have omitted in the course of this vote of thanks. It is indeed not deliberate. On this note, I want to once again thank you all for being here and I wish you safe return to your various destinations.